Now on Sunrise, a packed building in Gresham as a federal lawmaker listens to concerns from constituents, what many of them had to say. Plus, a final report by federal investigators reveals new details about the plane crash near Newburgh that killed a student pilot. Your news starts right now. Morning, and thank you for getting up with us early on your Sunday. I'm Thomas Schultz alongside Daisy Caballero. And Daisy, I know it's looking like it's going to be a little wet out there today. Yeah, so definitely seeing a little bit of a change from yesterday. Did you go outside?
I did. Beautiful. It was beautiful out there. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, so did I. And we're not going to be seeing any sunshine, or as much sunshine, should I say, rather, until about the middle part of this coming up work week. So yeah, things are definitely changing. Going to be a little bit more cloudy today than it was yesterday, followed by a few scattered showers. So this next system is kind of traveling from the south counterclockwise, as you can see, and should be bringing us, like I mentioned, a little bit of precipitation. Again, just a few traces as we're showing you right now, the hour-by-hour rainfall estimates all the way through early this afternoon. Last check out at PDX, 51 degrees. Winds are pretty calm coming out from the southwest at right about 6 miles an hour. Quick look at your current temperatures: 45 for Hillsborough, 48 over in West Lynn, 49 for Astoria, and 27 degrees over east for Baker City. So here is what your day is going to be looking like by early this afternoon. Many of us are going to be in the low 50s for the most part, some in the mid 50s, and then starting to cool back down by 6 o'clock. That 7-day forecast, though, coming up.
All right. Thank you, Daisy. Well, new this morning, police on the Oregon coast are looking for a missing 2-year-old boy. Dane Paulson hasn't been seen since late yesterday afternoon at a home in Siletz. Investigators say he was playing in the yard. Crews have been actively looking for him over the last 12 hours. They're also looking for a gold-colored 1990s station wagon. Police say it was seen in the area at the time Dane went missing. If you have any information, call the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office.
I know she's new, but this is not a time for new people to be holding back while they learn the ropes. This is a time for all hands on deck.
That was the message at a packed house at Centennial High School in Gresham, where more than 1,000 people showed up to attend a town hall hosted by Representative Maxine Dexter on Saturday. Congresswoman Dexter took questions from the public and spoke about everything ranging from concerns about Russia, Elon Musk, and a potential government shutdown. Our Celine Stevens caught up with the Congresswoman before the event.
I'm terrified of what my future is going to be because it's so uncertain and it's so up in the air.
Representative Maxine Dexter fielded questions from the public Saturday during a town hall at Centennial High School. Over 1,000 people getting the opportunity to hear her discuss the Trump administration, Russia, Elon Musk and Doge, and more.
The world is upside down right now. The fact that we are aligning ourselves with North Korea and Russia over our allies in NATO and Ukraine.
This one day after President Donald Trump's and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's heated meeting in the Oval Office.
You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Dexter addressing the possibility of a government shutdown, reminding people it would not be a good thing.
The courts aren't funded, and ICE and Homeland Security could be. And that feels like a very dangerous situation right now. So want to really help people understand that us shutting down the government should not be seen as a win right now.
Dexter also acknowledging concerns about what Democrats are doing to combat the Trump administration's latest moves and breaking it down.
The courts are really where we can check the executive power that's being unauthorized or illegally and unconstitutionally utilized. As a party, the Stop Musk Act is my first bill. We signed on to many, whether it's trying to create a path for dreamers or it's protecting the EPA.
Those in attendance of all ages expressing their concerns for the state of the country.
What we are seeing in our country is nothing less than a slide into a full-on autocracy. And that is something that goes against every value that I was raised with.
I feel like I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know what's going to happen to my life. I don't know, like, when I enter the workforce, am I even going to be able to get a job? Or am I just going to be, like, stuck?
The deadline to avoid a partial government shutdown is March 14th. President Trump is also preparing to address a joint session of Congress for the first time since taking office for his second presidential term. Among the people that will be in attendance is Yamhill County Commissioner Bubba King. King was invited by Representative Andrea Salinas as her +1. Commissioner King says he's excited for the opportunity to talk about federal issues that have local impacts, like immigration.
It really affects the livability. I mean, the deportation, we're a rural community, right? And driven by agriculture. And our immigrant community really is the backbone of our economic, one of our, some of our major leading industries. And so that would be devastating.
Trump's address is set for Tuesday evening in the House chamber. We have an update on a deadly small plane crash from 2023 near Newburgh. The final report from the National Transportation Safety Board found the flight instructor and student pilot both may have contributed to the crash. The NTSB found the probable cause to be the pilot's failure to maintain control of the airplane and the flight instructor's inadequate supervision of the flight. The crash killed the pilot, 20-year-old Barrett Bavacqua, and the instructor, 22-year-old Michele Cavallati. Bavacqua's family sued the Pilot Academy, claiming Cavallati was solely responsible for failing to maintain control of the plane after letting it slow down below safe standards. A passenger on board who survived the crash told the NTSB she was not aware of any mechanical issues before the crash, nor did she notice any during the flight. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and its major crimes team are investigating a death in Troutdale after a man's body was found on top of shopping carts in the Home Depot parking lot on Southeast Stark at around 5 o'clock Saturday morning. The Sheriff's Office says they're working to identify the body and how he died. We're learning more about a dramatic rescue on Mount St. Helens after a group of snowmobilers triggered then survived an avalanche. Catherine Cook met the specialized group of volunteers who saved their lives.
The volcano rescue team is based here in Yakult. They respond to about 40 emergencies a year. They say the avalanche on St. Helens last week was one of the scariest in recent history, and they're incredibly grateful all 3 victims survived. Volcano rescue team volunteers captured this video as they zipped down Mount St. Helens February 17th. They were towing a man with a severe leg injury.
I will say that this individual was one of the toughest we've ever seen.
Hours earlier, that man and 2 friends had been on a snowmobiling adventure. As they rode into unfamiliar territory, crews say 2 of the men drove off a snow cliff and into a 100-foot canyon, triggering an avalanche.
It can be kind of wild. I mean, there's some pretty gnarly canyons up there.
The fog was the reason why they went over the hill.
Volunteers say the first guy over tried to deploy his avalanche bag, but it didn't work. So he went to plan B as snow cascaded over him.
It acts like water when it's flowing, and so that's why the victim knew to paddle his arms like he was treading water and swimming to try and stay on top of the snow. But then once the snow stops, it very quickly gets very hard and becomes almost concrete-like.
And that hard-packed snow is what the second snowmobiler landed on, injuring his leg. Fortunately, the third snowmobiler didn't fall over. After checking on his friends, he drove into cell service and called 911. The volcano rescue team was on their way.
They're in the middle of nowhere, and our team was able to, locate them, safely get to them, assist them, and able to get them back out of the parking lot.
As crews worked to reach the men, they knew that at any moment they could trigger a second avalanche.
That's quite scary. You can't get away from an avalanche if you're in the bottom of a gully.
Fortunately, the guys were prepared with food, water, and warm clothes. Crews say they were also very lucky.
They could have froze to death. They could have broken their neck. They could have been out there all night. Really tragic.
But thanks to these guys, they made it home safely. In Yakult, Catherine Cook, KGW News.